Season 5, Episode 13 and 14, Take 1. What is good, everybody? My name is Jake, and welcome back to the One Take series, where we get one chance to reflect on the day. No second chances, no third chances, one take, and one take only. And we look at the list, so there were some things, I'll be honest, there were some things that I wanted to get to this weekend, and I did not. Not because I didn't, well, partially because I didn't have the time. Relatives came in today, and I didn't have time, a good amount of time to do it, but I'm not going to pin this on them. It is not their fault or anything. It is completely my fault, and I should have managed my time better. I will completely admit. But that being said, I think I still enjoyed my weekend, and I still think I did great things in terms of fueling my success for this week and setting myself up. In terms of, first, let's get the things out of the way that I didn't do. Jesus, no. Gym, no. I'll be honest, no, I did not do those either days. But I think we're going to start having time, and I want to start moving them towards the top of my list. That is definitely my goal this week, is I want to see over the next 5 days, from day, let's say, 15 to 21. For days 15 to 21, I want to hit Jesus at least 5 times, and then I want to hit gym at least 5 times. Actually, gym 5 times is a little crazy. Let's bring that down to 4, because technically gym you only do 6 days out of the week, whereas Jesus you only do you do 7 days out of the week, right? So I think that's our goal, right? For Jesus to hit 5 out of 7, and for gym is to hit 4 out of 7. I think that is totally achievable, and I think that's a great small step to take. Okay, you're also probably realizing that I have a Jake. Why is there just another version of a debt counter up here? Well, the thing about the debt counter was that was for Jesus, and the thing about Jesus is that even though it doesn't matter how many Bible books you read with him, it was brought to my attention. Someone, remember when I was complaining that one day and I was unhappy about that one person who was like, oh, this and this, and oh, you're beating yourself up, right? And they made an excellent point, which is the fact that it doesn't really matter how much you read about Jesus. It matters more that you're just going out and applying the practices. That's not an excuse for me to stop reading the Bible, but it is a thing of you can't be truly in Jesus' debt because you're already in Jesus' debt. So making a debt counter for that doesn't make sense. Whereas for work, it makes perfect sense, right? Because the thing about this is that I am 4 hours in the hole right now in terms of work. I was able to make 4 hours this weekend working on Saturday, but by then relatives came in the next day and I was super burnt out. So I just didn't really feel like it, and honestly, I think either the way we're going to do this, I have 2 different ways that I can probably make this up, okay? One is that we do 2 hours for each day of the week, and then we just do Saturday and Sunday. Those are also 2 hours each. Or what I could do is just some of the days where I have more time, I could end up doing the 2 hours. This is seriously the point where I have to start using the morning effectively. This is a non-negotiable now, where 2 of the mornings I can work 2 hours, and therefore I can work another 2 in the afternoon for 2 of the days, and therefore we can make it up. Whichever way we decide to use, I fully plan, wake up at a good time, at a reasonable time, and then go from there, and then keep freaking going, okay? That's what it is. I'm done. I'm seriously done this time. I'm not joking. I'm done this time sleeping and then hitting the snooze button and not waking up for another 2 hours, or hitting the snooze button for 1 hour and then going on my phone until it's time to go do something. No, that stops, okay? We're done with that. And for the rest of it, one take, yes, I ended up failing with the shorts. Again, I have a decent start on it, so I mean, we'll get there when we get there. Right now, I just have other things higher on my priority list than content creation. That's just the fact of the matter. That is. But I still plan on getting to it. I really just still do. It's just a thing where it wasn't in the cards this weekend, because honestly, coming up with a title, because how my shorts work is basically I come up with kind of a theme, and then afterwards I completely freestyle it. And only if I think it's good enough, then it makes a video, right? It is completely, I will delete takes if necessary, but the entire video, there's no cuts, there are only captions, which I have to go in and manually edit. I am planning on probably trying to use TikTok, because I know TikTok can generate captions, so I want to look more into that, because that could absolutely save me a lot of time. Because with captions, and editing my own captions, what ends up happening is that I spend a total of 1 hour on one short, which obviously if I already have, let's say, like 3 shorts done and I need to make 4 more in order to reach our goal of 7, then spending 4 hours or editing 4 videos, as well as every weekend after that spending 7 hours on one take, a little bit excessive, not including the long form, right? At that point, we're basically just doing another job. So there's that, right? That's my take there. And then in terms of the rest of it, music, I didn't come up with the fundraiser ideas yet. I plan on, that's probably one of the first things I'm going to do in the morning. Along with the morning, we're also going to draft the follow-up email to that one research. I'm going to be like, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day, last Friday, to interview me, and what would be a good time this Friday to meet up for your research lab and to explore and ultimately come to a decision, right? I'm still waiting on that one interview that's happening this Thursday, but chances are, since I'm already kind of a little bit further along, and if this professor is still on board with me working research, I plan on taking that route, especially because it just sounds kind of cooler and more in my domain. So let's see, the rest of it. Let's talk about the things I did do well, because that's all the things that I didn't do well. You do have to take a look at this and realize that I actually did a pretty solid job with a good portion of things. I am honestly proud of myself. Academics, I feel like I'm in a pretty solid spot. Let's see. A majority of my classes, I honestly feel like I kind of know what I'm doing, or I've at least taken a look at some of the homeworks. I'm not necessarily ahead in any of my classes. I think to say I was ahead would be a bit of a stretch. However, I am currently in a position where I can breathe a little bit. I have a little bit of breathing room. I still need to do the lab report. So I think tomorrow, in terms of schoolwork, lab report, and then for one of my classes, a little bit of reading through the textbook. Those are going to be my main 2 things that I'm focusing on tomorrow. But this is a very important thing, is that before school tomorrow, what we also need to do is we need to take a look at the, oh my gosh, dude. I mean, you know what, I'm just going to do it, okay? Listen, I don't think it's right to compare many things to the devil. I mean, there are a lot of things. There's nothing that compares to the devil, but that fucking 1 p.m., if there is hell on earth, I think we found it. I'm not gonna lie. So, basically, we need to prep for this, okay? The syllabus, like I said, the only way, okay? Because we already know that he doesn't post the notes, okay? And we know that he's a bad teacher. The only possible way for us to go from here, take a look at the syllabus, look what we're reading about, read about it in the textbook, and pray that what happens in class matches what the textbook. That's really all I can do. I can't do more than that. And now that I'm thinking about it, okay, yeah, the retake, ooh. Oh my gosh. Oh fuck. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just realized something. Oh my gosh. Oh my fuck, I have to retake a quiz for that class tomorrow. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, fuck me, dude. Oh fuck. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright. So I completely forgot that the Wednesday quiz was also another quiz that I didn't do well on, right? And so, now I really actually have to think about this. How am I going to approach that? Okay. So we have 2 options with that, okay? So we gotta retake a quiz, and I plan on, unlike the other one, doing well on this quiz, right? So on this second quiz that we have to make up, basically we have two options, okay? One is that we go to the office hours tomorrow, and then we exclusively use that for looking at what our quiz was like, looking at those papers and realizing what we did wrong. And then we take it after class on Wednesday. Okay, those are the two things. Or the second one is that I look at it in office hours, and then I also, on top of that, take it right afterwards. But it is a thing where I think I'm gonna stay a little bit after my normal time. Basically my class, so just to map it out, right? The unplanned pregnancy, quote unquote, ends at a certain time. Okay, I go over to the office hours. I ask for the paper. If the professor doesn't have the paper, I'm actually gonna lose my shit, bro. But basically, I'm gonna look at my paper at the quiz, see what I did wrong, and if not, then I'm gonna just ask him to kind of go through the quiz to help me with it, right? I'm gonna ask for guidance on that, see what I did wrong, and then afterwards in the same session, when it's like down to the last 15 minutes, then I'm going to ask him, okay, how do you do this, this, and this, right? Or not this, this, and this, but then can I retake the quiz, right? So just getting an idea of how it actually works. But he better have my paper. He better have my freaking paper, or else I'm gonna lose it. I'm actually gonna lose it. So I fucking hate this class. I've genuinely, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my language, and I'm sorry to do this because this is just not right at all. But I have genuinely never hated a class more and dreaded going to a class more than this one. This one is just the bane of my existence right now. So there's that, okay? Other than this, academics is in a good spot, right? In the unplanned pregnancy, going surprisingly well. In terms of classes for my minor, going extremely well right now. Cannot ask for anything more. And then in terms of my other class, the one class that I didn't mention and is really chill, I have a good grip on what the homework looks like. I absolutely am going to be utilizing office hours. So my main plan for tomorrow, other than this beast of a class, is to do the lab report and get that done ahead of time so that we're not having to worry about that on Wednesday. That's my plan in terms of academics. Let's see. Okay, yeah, work. Like I said, I worked 4 hours on Saturday. I am proud of myself for that because that was kind of exhausting, low key. Let's see. Research I already talked about. Music. I made it. I'm in the. I'm tired. I apologize. I'm in the process of making another song. Like I said, I've been procrastinating on the upcoming album by focusing on the next one. Which, I mean, it's a little questionable. It is kind of working, and I think it is a banger of a song, I won't lie. But like I said, the main goal is to get Through Hell and Back done by the end of this semester. So, I mean, from this point forward, when I'm working on music, I should primarily be thinking about that one and that one only. And then afterwards, once we're done with that, then we just jump straight into working on Unsung Hero, and then we're ready to go. Big Brother was absolutely a success because of all the work that I was doing. I was able to get, I believe it was 5 episodes. It was either 5 or it was 6. Whichever one it was, Big Brother was definitely a success. And then in terms of sleep, slept really well on episode 13's, like the night before episode 13, and then didn't sleep so well last night. It was just really a thing of, I'll be completely honest. Let me see. This one is that one, my body just felt like it had to wake up at 7 hours. And then this one, it was like a thing where my body wanted to wake up, but then as soon as I woke up, I realized just how tired I was. So I am absolutely exhausted, and I do plan on going to bed very soon after this, but I have to shower and make sure my hair is normal, because this is actually still the same hair from 2 days ago, from Friday. So, oh man, hey dude, I'm sorry. I'm just exhausted, and I'm just dreading this class. It's this class. If this class right here did not exist, if this class did not exist, this semester would be so much more fun. But now I'm over here fucking stressing about a damn class. That's it. I'm just stressing over this thing. It's just so stressful, dude. There's no other way to put it. So, okay. Yeah. And then in terms of miscellaneous stuff, okay? Like I said, because we worked $20 an hour and we worked 4 hours this weekend, naturally, we made $80. Clap it up. I did end up transferring some money from my savings over to my checking because my checking was getting low. But I gotta stop with those impulse buys, man. When it came to Friday, I think I talked about it, but I spent money on a meal, and especially when I just got done spending money on a Thursday meal, that Friday meal especially not worth it at all. I am never going back there again. And so it was just a thing of like, I gotta stop with the impulse buys, bro. I've got to. The only planned buys that I plan on going to my local Walmart, and I plan on getting a green tea because specifically, I believe I mentioned it, but I mean, obviously this semester, you've probably noticed a pattern in that every single day of the week I have a designated colored shirt, and they're all, for most of them, they are either Ben Nagel, or not Ben Nagel, sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. What is it? Ben Hogan, and then there's Reebok, right? And so the thing is that basically with like in terms of Monday through Thursday, or they're all Ben Hogan, and then Friday is Reebok, right? But then Monday is navy blue, Tuesday is gray, Wednesday is royal blue, Thursday is white, and then Friday is red Reebok, right? And then days where I'm just kind of like kind of chilling, or like I'm like in my downtime, this is probably my go-to shirt, right? But test days are always green for me every single time. Let me see if I actually have them on hand, because I don't think I've ever actually showed them. Unfortunately, I realized that they may be at home, and therefore I might not be able to show. Oh, there it is. So, just a little bit of backstory. There was just a point where it all started with my Calc 2 final, and this is where it was, because like I said in a previous episode, and I will probably re-upload the episode, or re-upload the short regarding the episode at some point, because it was a huge, massive turning point in my life. The official moment where I went from an F to an A in Calc 2, right? The thing is that during my final, I walked in with this, right? This hoodie. The She Wants Me hoodie from the Ducky D merch store way back in 2024. Okay, Ducky D was a special content creator to me. He was making memes for the longest time, right? He reacts to memes. That's basically what he does. Okay, the thing about this was that during the final test day, I realized that I just needed, in order to secure the A for Calc 2, I just needed to remain calm, right? That's all I needed to do. I just needed to remain calm. And so what did I do? Instead of putting on a hat, instead of getting dressed, instead of doing all the things, I just didn't do my hair, left it messy, put this hoodie on, put some green pajama pants on, and just chilled the fuck out when I was taking that test. And ever since I passed that class with an A, it has been a good omen for me. And therefore, for parts of my sophomore year, for the first half of my sophomore year, I was wearing that on test days, right? That same outfit didn't go to change. Unfortunately, it got a little small on me. And therefore, remember that one jacket that I was referencing in the first episode, this one? Well, it just so happened, because I got this one for Christmas, well, it just so happened that also during that same Christmas, I was able to get a green version of that hoodie, right? And so this became my test day hoodie. And so it was just a thing of, okay, test days, we wear green. And that's why the only buy that I don't think is going to be an impulse buy this semester is going to be a green hoodie, whether it is Reebok or whether it's Ben Hogan. I want a green tee, maybe one of each, who knows, depending on the cost. I want a green tee so that way I can walk into tests with the same mindset. Green is my test color. Green is money. You know what I'm saying? Green is money, man. Okay, anyways. So that's my plan for that, right? I plan on getting 2 green tees this week, especially because midterms start next week. So we're going to get that opportunity to put it to the test, and I am very hyped for it. So then, in terms of controlling urges and then women, right? Two things, okay? One, obviously, okay, this title, I Choose Me, I'm Sorry. Great Kendrick Lamar bar. I choose me, I'm sorry. I choose me, I'm sorry. I choose me, I'm sorry. Banger of a song. It's called Mirror by Kendrick Lamar. Highly recommend you check it out. And check out just his entire catalog. He's great. Okay? There are two things to this. One is that there were some things that I just didn't get done because I decided to prioritize rest and relaxing, which honestly sometimes you just gotta do, right? It keeps you sane. And then in terms of the rest of it, okay, the other reason was because when it came to women, right, my roommate, he is currently, or they are currently, just like they're talking about someone that they're attracted to, right, and that they think is attracted to them, right. And so it really is just a thing of, they were asking me, well, they were just telling about it because they had a bunch of room. They were telling just like the backstory. They were showing me their picture, whatever, and just like kind of like a bunch of other things, right? Just kind of adding to what I already knew. And so it's working out well for them. And so then they asked me, like, is there anything going on in your life when it comes to like women or when it comes to like relationships? And I said no. I said no. That's just what I said. There's nothing else to that. No, there are currently not any women in my life. Like I said, I've been getting looks. Like I said, that there are people that are cute, but not necessarily people that I think I would be cute with, right? And maybe that's just a wrong way of describing it, because I feel like I could definitely be in a position where I can like form a relationship. However, we are just so currently locked in, and I feel like we're in the process. We're not completely locked in, but we're starting to get into that flow state of like really getting settled in and analyzing what I am able to do, trying to test my limits and keep going forward, right? Simply put, now is not the time. Now is not the time. We will end up getting there when we get there. That's really all I could say about it, because there's so much that I'm going to accomplish, okay? There's so much of this, okay? To put in my perspective, each of my school days, on average, most of my school days last, let's say, 6 hours, right? Okay? Ideally, and this is weekdays, okay? So if school lasts for 6 hours, okay, and this is according to a perfect plan, okay? Is that that might be a little too much, low-key? 6 hours? No, I mean, that could be an average. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll say, 6 hours, okay? If I spend 6 hours on average a day at school on campus, right? And I spend 2 more hours working. I'm gonna start doing the math. If I spend 6 hours at campus and another 2 working, and ideally another one for Jesus, and ideally another one for gym, and ideally maybe half an hour on one take, right? Those numbers start to add up. And that's not even including, let's say, the 7 hours for sleep. That's not even including all the other academics that I have to do outside of class. That's not including the music or anything else if I want free time to myself, right? You add this up. This is just the necessities. This isn't even including the personal stuff. 6211.57. That's 17.5 hours of my day out of 24. Which means that the remaining 6.5 can be done on everything else. All of the fun stuff and all of the important stuff. Simply put, in my current capacity, I do not have the time to be spending that on a girlfriend. I'm sorry. I love women, and I believe that the right person will come along at some point. Right now, I mean, it might have happened. Who knows? Who knows if it might have happened? Who knows if maybe the person that I'm like going to end up with is already in my line of sight? Who knows if they aren't, right? But simply put, now is not the time to start searching. Now is the time to lock the fuck in. That's really what it comes down to. When I have 6.5 hours of free time in the day, I can't be spending it with a woman. I can't. I'm sorry. To be more a little specific about it, it's kind of hard. Like I said, I'm tired. I apologize. But it's just a thing of like it's kind of complicated. I don't want to sound weird when I say this, but they just like it's probably a thing where I feel like if I start getting involved with them too early, then it's just going to interfere with my goals, right? I'm gonna have to do things like spend money on dates. I'm gonna have to cut off more time from these than I've already cut off without a girlfriend, right? And so, like I said, it's just not the time. That's really all it is. Okay. Control over urges. This is massive, dude. This is massive. Let me tell you when this is massive, because we are in our top 3 streaks of all time streaks for controlling our urges. If you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? Top 3, okay? I struggled with it like for 8 years, a total of 8 years. This is in contention, tied with the 3rd longest that I've ever lasted, ever. Okay? To put it in perspective, tomorrow, okay, before this run, my top 3, I'll erase the hours, my top 3 were number 3, 17 days. No, that's not true. It was 16 days. Number 2 was 17 days. Number 1, 23 days. Right? That's it. Those are my longest streaks. The current run we are on, 16 days. And considering that the day is already almost over, we are about to tie our 2nd best, bro. That is huge. That is massive. I cannot explain just how much it's already helped me and how much I'm seeing the benefits already. It has improved my energy. It has improved my speaking ability. It has improved my sense of humor. It's improved so much about my life. And I fully plan on keeping it going, because most of the time, I am doomed to fail, right? It's a thing where I'm lazy, either I'm tired or I'm bored, or I just have energy that I don't know what to do with, and then I end up relapsing, right? That's really what it comes down to. But something about this run has made it easier to say no when I'm feeling tired, no when I'm feeling bored, no because why? Why? For what reason? You've seen the benefits. You know what the benefits are. Keep going, keep experiencing the benefits. And so this number will turn 17, because we're going to make it to day 17. I'm not going to go to bed and then we're going to reset based off that. That's not happening. After this, I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'm taking a shower, I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm getting my ass to bed, and we're making that number 17. But the fact that after all this time, 8 years, think about that, for 8 years, this is tied with the 3rd longest run and is about to be tied with the 2nd longest run that I've ever had. It's incredible. It really is incredible. And I hope that I can be free from it one day. I really think I can. I think this is honestly, genuinely the one. So, I mean, yes, we definitely took some L's today. I won't lie that there is a lot of red on this board. However, the amount of self-improvement that I am already experiencing and the amount of confidence that I'm already feeling feels incredible. There's just no other way to put it. So what did we learn from today, right? What did we learn from today? And yesterday, technically. Don't forget yesterday. We learned first, we have to take small steps to take big leaps, right? If I was trying to do a thing where I would do Jesus 7 days out of the week, and then I would do Jesus 7 days out of the week, and then Jim 6 days out of the week. Let's start a little bit smaller. Let's start with 5 days of Jesus, bare minimum, and 4 days of Jim, bare minimum. I think it'll be much more manageable this way, and I also think that it'll help us ease into our goals, right? During season 2/3, I'm going to call it 3, was basically, I mentioned something called the boiling frog experiment, which is basically the idea that if you put a frog in room temperature water and all of a sudden boiling, the frog is going to jump right out. But if the frog is in normal water and then you slowly crank the heat up little by little by little, the frog isn't even going to notice. The frog won't notice that it's boiling because it was slowly adjusted to that over time, which means that if we start small, then we can have the capacity to go bigger in the future. So that's number one, okay? Number two, okay? There are certain events where you just have to expect the worst. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. That just means that you know when something is going to be a bad time. It's time to cut out all the noise and it's time to focus, okay? I'm telling you, when it comes to this class, I am not playing with this thing for the rest of the semester. I'm not. Every single class from this point forward, we will know exactly what he is going to be talking about, provided that he actually follows the syllabus. He better follow the syllabus, but so far it looks like he has been following the syllabus. So we will walk in, we will have read the textbook, we will know exactly what's going on, and we will be ready for any pop quiz that he throws at us. Because, like I said, we only have 2 drops. And based on the fact that I've already used one, and the fact that I'm going to have to take a quiz either tomorrow or on Wednesday, when I barely know that material, we need to lock the fuck in on this class. We need to. This is a necessity. Otherwise, we're gonna have to retake that. And so far, I haven't had to retake a class. I ain't retaking this shit. I cannot afford that. So that's number 2, okay? And number 3, okay? Some things feel impossible. And some addictions feel hard to break from. All addictions should feel hard to break from. But you have to realize that addictions are there purely to keep you down. Addictions only exist to distract you from your true purpose in life. I was bound by that for such a long time, for 8 years. For 8 whole years, and now all of a sudden I'm about to tie my second personal best. Never give up. Never give up trying to break free from addictions, because when you do eventually become sober, officially, you will realize just how much your life has changed and how much better of a person you feel because of it. That's all I have to say today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Cut.